Back to Work Readiness series. So in this series, we'll be covering on unifying communications for corporate productivity. Thanks to all the attendees for joining today. We're happy that you can be part of this event today. And this is our second series for the Back to Work Readiness series. So our first speaker for today is Ms. Perlin. She is a product marketer with Zoho, with expertise in project management and email apps. She's endlessly fascinated by the simple and yet intricate art of communications. She spends most of her time talking to customers, in research, and writing about product features. She usually juggles between social media marketing and advertising. Blog writing is a forte, peppered with the occasional and well-timed satire. Outside of work, she enjoys long walks, beaches, mountain hikes, food, singing, acting, and more food. For myself, I'm known to be cool, a marketing manager with Zoho. So personally, I have more than 10 years of field service experience in the logistics and safety industry. And in my course of work in Zoho, I've assisted and advised many customers based on their operational requirements and have enabled them to overcome their challenges with software. So let us invite Perlin to start the presentation. Over to you, Perlin.
Thank you so much for your patience, and I'm happy, as I said, to be joining you all for this session today. So we will be talking about unifying communications for corporate productivity. So suddenly, all of a sudden, in the past few weeks or months even, there has been a lot of changes in the way we work, especially with COVID kicking in when we least expected. We have been thrust into a sudden change of change in the way that we work. So, what are some of the changes that we have seen in the past few months? So, one is now work is a combination of both remote and local. So, maybe for a while, all of us were forced to work from our homes. And then now, offices are beginning to open up in some places and countries. So, we see people going back to work while some are still working from homes. So now at this time, it is a combination. It's not entirely remote or entirely local. So the world and the businesses are adopting or adapting to this change. So another important change is we have seen how work is more dynamic and open. So even before the situation or before these times, the open office culture and flat hierarchy was gaining popularity. But we're now in recent days, we see more and more organization managers being open to ideas, and teammates do not follow a strict and rigid hierarchy, but rather pitch in and contribute whenever they see fit. So, work culture and the way employees contribute is now more dynamic and open. Also, work is now spread across devices. So it doesn't make sense to expect somebody or to be on their laptops or desktops every day, every minute of their work time. So work is spread across devices. Some of us could be traveling. So it is important to be able to work no matter what device you are on. So these are three major changes that we see in the recent times, accelerated only by the current situation. But whatever changes we see, there is one thing that hasn't changed, and that is the need for effective communication. So, whether we are in the office, sitting next to each other with an arm's distance, or we are spread across geographies, it is very, very important that we communicate effectively and clearly so that the work gets done well and good. So teamwork requires effective communication. Productivity requires effective communication. So this just stays constant, the need for effective communication. So it's been a lot of months since we have changed the way that we work. So I'd like to put a poll across to you and ask what has your hardest challenge been so far, now that some of you may be working from homes. So all of these months, what has been your biggest challenge? Has it been communicating clearly or organizing your documents? That's a big thing. Or do you miss the effectiveness of team meetings? Or is it just managing work-life balance? Are you just missing the fine line between the two? What is it? So I see votes coming in, spread across all four categories. So for me, the biggest, hardest challenge has been on organizing documents, because as marketers, we work on a lot of files. So having Zoho's file management system, OneDrive, helps us a lot. So, which we will be talking about later during our sessions. I still see votes coming in, and for now, missing the effectiveness of team meetings is leading. Okay, we're now getting more votes for communicating clearly. So since votes are still coming in, I'm going to leave this up for a few minutes. But the truth be told, all of us face all these challenges to some degree, some more than the others. So work-life balance. We just since we're homes, like we are at homes, we don't have that divide between when to work and when not to work. So that is also a big challenge. I see around 11% people voting for that. So let me broadcast the results for all of you. Before closing this poll. So great. The clear winner here is communicating clearly, followed by missing the effectiveness of team meetings. So how do we solve all of that? We will see in our session. So let's get going. So there are many modes of communication. When we talk about communication, it can be long form in the form of long emails, or probably forums or blog posts. You can communicate through that, or it can be a chat, quick and instant chat messages you send across to individuals or to teams. And then voice, of course, phone calls. A lot of people have been using phone calls a lot these days, because going up to your colleague's place and talking something is just impossible right now. And video, the best, I mean, you read the person better when you actually see them face to face, right? So video communication is also one of the different modes. So I feel we need all of these modes in the right amounts to be able to communicate clearly. So that is why we bring all of this together in our virtual workplace powered by Zoho, which is Zoho Workplace. So Zoho Workplace encourages dynamic and open contribution. It is spread across devices. It's on laptops, it's on mobile devices, it's on tablets. And also it is designed to support all of these different modes of communication, whichever you prefer, whatever for the need that you have. So first section is going to be on corporate email and discussions, from idea to execution. How are we going to use something like email and chat messages to communicate more effectively and clearly? This is what the first session is going to be on, and we will be talking about a couple of apps in the session. So this entire event, we will be covering a few apps. All of these are part of Workplace, but these are not all the apps in Workplace. There are more, and we encourage you to explore. And we will be talking about a couple other apps, not in the Workplace bundle as well, but are very, very useful in everyday corporate communication. So let's get started. As I said, business email, a very, very important component of communication within a corporation or an organization, right? But email sometimes tends to be very outdated and feels like it is never ending threads of conversations, but it doesn't have to feel so. That is why in Zoho Mail, we have concepts like email sharing and collaboration that is group centric. So most of your work is going to be teamwork. Of course, you're going to have individual work as well, but office productivity is about teamwork in most cases. So it is important to have your conversations in the context of your group. It is important to be able to discuss and communicate better, even when work comes in through email. So that is why in Zoho Mail, our email app, we have group-centric collaboration features, and everyday task tracking or event tracking in calendars. All of this will stay in context of the group. And also, there are very nifty features that are there to enhance your productivity, something like reminders, you have attachment views, and so many other features like that, some of which we will look at in the demo. Also, is where work begins, but from there we transition and transfer to a lot of apps, right? From there, work pans out, and there are a lot of activities that we need to do. So that means your email app has to integrate well with your other Zoho apps, other business apps as well. So Zoho Mail is designed to have contextual integrations with other apps. Let me show you how Zoho Mail looks like. So this is the interface. Like I already mentioned, all of our apps are on mobile as well. So this is how the web interface and the mobile interface looks like. So we will look at more of this in the demo, but this is for you to have an idea. And then we have instant messages powered by Zoho Click in Workplace. So this is for simpler collaboration with individuals or group, to quickly share ideas or arrive at decisions. But that is not where Zoho Click stops. You have many automations in place. You have chatbots in place to automatically take actions based on what is being discussed. So it's not like you just talk and stop right there, but contextually you're going to do your next steps as well right from within Zoho Click. And we talked about many modes of communication, right? So all of these modes are supported in Zoho Click as well, be it text, voice, video, or screen sharing, and maybe group calls for discussions. And this is how the chat screen in Zoho Click looks like. As you can see, there are a couple of conversations going on side by side, even a video call happening. So this is how Zoho Click looks like on the web. So now we will get into a live demo. Right, so this is the Zoho Workplace dashboard. So as you can see, this has a lot of the elements. This gives me a view of the unread emails that I have, shows me what calendar events I have, or probably my bookmarks, my tasks. So this is like a quick bird's eye view of all the work items that is waiting for me today. So this is where typically a workplace day starts, right? So for the sake of this demo, I will be using Helen Collins' account. So Helen Collins is working with Zilka. Zilka is an organization that is into many ventures, and Helen and her team work in marketing, where they produce a lot of promotional content, materials, brochures, videos, and more for the products that Zilka makes. And we will be seeing how a typical workday for Helen looks like inside Workplace. So let me jump over to email, Zoho Mail. So, like I already said, work comes in through email. Initial discussions, interaction begins at email, and even for Helen, that is the case. So, Harry here wants to start a new APAC Asia Pacific campaign for sketches, which is a product created by Zilka. So, Helen is the marketing team. She's excited and she wants to bring in open her team and start work. So instead of forwarding this email to multiple people and losing track of who has seen it and not, she can rather tag her team. So in this comment section, she can go and just add mention marketing. So there it comes up. And once she comments by mentioning the team, all of the members in this marketing team will be able to see that this email has been shared to them. They can interact by clicking like buttons or maybe even replying to her comment. So all conversations and activities related to this group will be available in something called streams in the left. So I'm going to head over to the marketing group. This is how it looks like. As you can see, there are 6 members and the email that Helen shared has already come in here. So not just email, the team members can create and track tasks, assign it to people. And in addition to tasks, they can also write up notes and share with the team. So all of these elements, be it a message, a task, a note, there is a very collaborative element to it in the form of comments. So people can come here, you can tag specific people if you would like and ask them a question. So all this can happen within streams in this marketing channel. So this kind of streamlines all the activities that revolve around email. And once you see an email, you can quickly convert it into a task, or you can quickly make notes and make it stay in context to this group, so that you don't have to do it separately for all of the 6 members. So since the tasks and calendars are all specific to this group, even in this modules, like here is the calendar module, you have group calendars, and there's a marketing calendar in lavender color right here. So these are all the marketing related activities. So if you want to even create a new one, you can just click on the day and choose which calendar you want to add it to and create it right there. So probably I can schedule a meeting if I want, or maybe just create an event for my personal tracking. So this can be done right here from this group calendar. Tasks as well are maintained in the context of the group. So here these are tasks assigned to me. So if I want to see only tasks relevant to the group, I can choose marketing, and these are tasks that are in the marketing group. And right from here, I can create new tasks as well. So this way, conversations around email are automatically and very smoothly converted into work items without you having to switch from places or without having to forward the mail to multiple people. So this is how mail brings in group collaboration. So once all that is set up, you would want to reply to the email, right? So Helen here also wants to reply to Harry and say that she will get back to him ASAP. So probably type an email that says thank you, and I will come up with a plan ASAP as soon as possible. So yes, so actually hit send. You can see how this brings in an automatic follow-up reminder, because Helen used the word ASAP in her message, which is as soon as possible. So intelligently, Zoho Mail detects that there is something important going on, and this may require a follow-up reminder. So Zoho Mail suggests Helen to actually set up reminders on a particular date and time so that this doesn't slip off her mind even as other important things come in. So yes, she can choose to send reminders to herself. And okay, so all done. So now this is how collaboration or group activities take place within Mail. So let's say, what are the other features in Zoho Mail that will help in easier tracking? So for example, we have something called attachment viewer. So as the project begins, Helen and her team is going to be working on a lot of files as they are in marketing. There are going to be images involved, Word documents, and so many other files. So Helen shouldn't be spending a good chunk of her time searching for these attachments. So we have something called attachment viewer in Zoho Mail. So all of the attachments are listed here. So it brings it to one place instead of having to sift through emails. So what if she wants only attachments that are relevant to the group? She can filter that here as well. As you can see, there are filter criteria like group, attachments from, attachment type, and tags added. So Helen here chooses the marketing group and filters. So this will bring up the attachments relevant to the group. And this is not just an attachment viewer, as the name says, it does so much more. For example, here is an attachment, and she can choose to add a new task from this attachment or a note, or probably attach it to a click message and send it across, start a new message, or even add it to OneDrive, our file management system, or other cloud services as well. So from here also, contextually, she's able to take actions that really saves a lot of time for Helen and helps her be more productive. So this is one such nice feature. So what about the times that Helen is going to be away? At her home, she may have a strong internet connection. When she is away or when the internet connection is flaky, she would still want to check her emails, right? So that is why we have offline access in Zoho Mail. As you can see here, there is a small cloud symbol with enable offline. So she can click right here, and options or settings for offline email comes up. So here she can specify what emails she wants to save, probably from the last 7 days she wants to save offline, and she can choose to either include or exclude attachments, and mail or alerts her that this is not to be used in public systems for security reasons. So all after she selects all the settings, she can say, okay, so there is storage issues, so she'll have to sort that out. And yes, so save. So once a reload has happened, offline has been enabled. As you can see, offline has been initiated and emails from the last 7 days, according to Helen's preference, is being fetched. So all good, even as she is going to be away or be on a bad internet connection. Helen will now be able to check emails, read them, and she can reply to them as well, which will be saved in the outbox to be sent when internet connection is back on. So she need not worry about checking if her connection is fine again and again. She can just enable offline access and be at peace. So this is another very important and useful feature of Zoho Mail that can come in handy. So we talked about offline and attachment viewers. So these are small productivity tips for everybody, so for everyone who uses Zoho. So what about system administrators who have IT administrators who have added responsibility? So you may be heading your organization's IT department, and it may be very very important that you retain and save mails properly across the organization, across user profiles, because some organizations require it legally. There is a need to comply to standards that say that your emails have to be retained for a specific period. So this is helpful when there is legal investigation that is coming up or litigation purposes. If there is a question of data theft or integrity, email is the first place they will look at, right? So if you want to find out if unnecessary information or confidential information has gone out from your organization, email is the first place you would check. So it's very important to have a proper email retention and e-discovery portal in place. So Zoho Mail supports that as well. This is the e-discovery portal that you're looking at. You can retain emails according to the default policy for 365 days. So when I say retain, this is across organization. As you are the admin, only admins will be able to do this. You will be able to retain emails of all your employees. So this is irrespective of what they do in their personal mailboxes, even if they're going to be deleting some emails or removing it from the tracks. As an admin, you would still have it in your record. So in addition to default retention policy, as you can see here, there is an option to create custom retention policy as well. So default just retains all emails for the period that you specify or even forever. So in custom retention policy, you can drill down and narrow it down and give certain specific conditions. For example, this is a custom retention policy. So here Helen has specified a start date and end date. So emails during this duration will be retained. And she also gives conditional query that says that it should contain the word design. So this query has several other criteria as well. You can specify the condition according to the email subject or the content according to the from address to address. So if you want to just retain certain emails, certain sent from a particular person, then you can choose that as well. And several other conditions has attachment name contains, etc. So once this is set up, you can also give it a duration and save the policy. If you'd like to see the results, you can preview results here as to what emails come under this policy. So you can give save. So this is how you can create custom and default retention policies. So these are very useful, as I said, when an investigation comes up, when there is a need for you to have to look into your emails. So for that, we have something called the investigation module as well. So once there is a legal obligation or once there is probably a legal court case, you can create an investigation and have searches relevant to that investigation. So let's say you have a question of design piracy that has been going on in an organization. So you can have search that specifies conditions once again as to what duration you want to search for emails or what conditional queries you want to apply. So this will further narrow down your retained emails and search for that particular email with that particular term that will be relevant to your investigation. So within this investigation, you will have searches and you have something called holds. So when you place a hold, this will override the default retention policy. So maybe according to your retention policy, your retention period gets over today, but your investigation is still in progress. Then you do not want to lose your emails during the investigation, right? So when you place a hold on a particular investigation, the emails that are part of the investigation will be held, and they will not follow the retention policy. It would rather follow the rules of the investigation that you have set. So you don't have to worry about losing emails during an ongoing investigation. So in addition, it is very important for this to be secure and for proper audit logs. So we have exports and audit logs as well, where you can see activity that has been going on in the e-discovery portal. So for an admin, this is going to be very, very useful, especially when you scale up as an organization and when you have certain legal requirements. So more about e-discovery in our pages, web pages. So if you have questions as well, feel free to drop it in the questions tab. So yes, these are nice features to have. So what about, we talked a lot about the internal emails that we are exchanging, right? So what about when somebody emails you from outside, probably a client or a prospect? So for example, Helen here has received an email from Lynn Johnson, who is interested in one of Zilker's products. So that is good, right? But Helen wants more context about this person before she can reply, before she can give a tailor-made reply. So Helen maintains all of her customer information in Zoho CRM, which is a CRM system, of course. So one option would be to navigate to CRM with the information, but Mail simplifies it even further by bringing in e-widgets. So e-widget lists down all the extensions that are part of Zoho Mail. So for example, when she receives an email, she can just go to Zoho CRM to check more information about this person. So this will bring up, pick the email ID from the email and search in Zoho CRM. So as you can see, this person is already a lead in Zoho CRM. So now Helen knows that this person is not new to Zilker. So she can actually talk in Zilker terms. So over this person view, she can tailor make her reply in a different way. So this gives her context about the person that is emailing. In addition to Zoho CRM, there are several other Zoho app and third-party app integration. So now that she knows she's interested, she wants to track the task of getting in touch with this customer through Zoho projects. So she can choose Zoho projects here from the e-widget panel. So and add a task for herself. Select a project. Okay. So and then just add the star. So as you can see, automatically the title and description are pre-filled by fetching it from your email. So that's great. You don't have to even spend time typing out the details. You can assign an owner and get this going. So this way, eWidget helps you integrate with several other apps that you may be using in addition to workplace apps. So that is great, and and this will help her have very meaningful and contextual discussions. So we saw a lot about email, formal communications within the corporation, externally, and for compliance as well. So what about when you want to have short discussions or some informal chats? So for that, we will go into Zoho Click, like I had already mentioned. So Click here begins here in the remote work module. They developed this especially because a lot of us are working from home. So Helen can just check in to let the team know that she's in and some of her teammates are away. So this gives information about who's in and who's away. And then she can go into her chat conversations. Chats open up in parallel, so you can have like one or more discussions at the same time. So as you can see, these are group discussions. There are participants relevant to what is being discussed. So you can quickly have discussions here, and there are elements like reacting to a message or probably clicking start on a message for later. So all of that can be done within Zoho Click as well. So there are a lot of conversations, be it personal one-on-one or channel conversations going on. So this, as I had already said, combines all the different modes. There is text, there is voice, there is even calling, and also automations powered by bots. So Click has a lot of useful bots that will help you take automatic action. For example, if I'd like to know when the team is available for a meeting, instead of clicking in the channel and asking them one by one, can just start a poll. So Helen here will start a poll asking when is everyone available for a meeting. So the choice is tomorrow, day after. So this will notify all of the participants. So this will be run only in the channel specified. So create poll. So once this is done, the poll comes up like this, and the teammates can enter their votes here. And since Helen started the poll, she will be able to see the results as well. So this way, she can gather quick answers and find, a good time for everyone to get on a meeting without exchanging a bunch of messages. So this is about chatting and creating polls. And as you can see, these have audio call and video call as well. If everybody's in for the meeting right now, and if it's just going to be a quick call, then she can just start an audio call, give the necessary permissions, and start the call. So once she rings in everybody in her group, they will be able to join in. And even as the call progresses, the chat bar is also open and available here. So if there are some links or some information she wants to share, or anybody wants to share during the call, the chat bar can be used as well. So this way they can discuss and finish off their call and make the decisions that much faster. And they can also choose to do a video call if necessary. So in addition to this, you can chat about a lot of things, and probably when that is going on for a long time, you can quickly call or even get on a video call for better face-to-face discussions. But sometimes some things are better explained visually, right? So for that, Click also has something called whiteboard that will help you edit or annotate your images so that you can actually convey better what you want to do. For example, right here, Helen wants to share a sample invoice that they created. So she will upload it from her laptop, and she basically needs some changes to be done to this invoice. So she can explain it step by step, point by point, but rather, or she can even choose to annotate it. And so once she clicks on edit, she gets cool options like this one. She gets highlighting tools, a marker, an arrow. So she can just drag a shape and let them know what change she would lead. So probably an arrow, choose an arrow type, write on it as well. Change color. So yes, once she saves changes and shares, now the team will quickly know what specific changes Helen needs in this particular document. So in case even annotation does not work and she wants to explain it further, there is an option to start a screen share session as well. This will enable Helen to call her colleague and share a part of her screen so that she can over voice explain to him as to what is required of him. So like these different elements of communication are combined together in Zoho Click, and that makes it really, really easier to communicate clearly and to choose whatever suits your preference. So that is about Zoho Click, and I'm going to go back to our presentation. So we saw about group collaboration in mail, how we can create groups and share information and have discussions within the context of the group. And even the calendar and tasks can be at the group level. We also saw about reminders and notifications, how intelligently Zoho Mail helps you set. We saw about integrations with other apps, be it Zoho third-party powered by eWidget, and about how to use attachment viewers. and also the offline access that is available in Zoho Mail, and briefly about e-discovery, which is a part of Zoho Mail, which helps admins and organizations to comply to requirements. And then we looked at Zoho Click and different elements like the remote work module, checking in, checking out, or setting statuses according to your availability. Bot automation, we looked at different elements like audio, video group calls, and also idea sharing on whiteboards. So this is about email conversations and chat conversations. So sometimes you would need to do a wider announcement, probably spreading across your entire organization. So maybe Helen wants to do an organization wide Zilka post, or she may want to interact with partners or clients, external channels. So where does she go for that? For that, she can choose an intranet tool like Zoho Connect, which will now be discussed by Koos.
Thank you, Berlin. And then we get to find, this notice board, this nice notice board that our CEO, our HR managers used to put announcements, and so that people will not miss out the latest updates. So for Zoho Connect, this is our social intranet, is part of the workplace bundle. So it allows people to do announcement, enables the management to do a post for decisions, and it can be used for engagement activities for employees. We even have some features like a town hall for organized Q&A sessions, which are we able to demo in the later demo sessions. And it even comes with a repository for important files, such as probably a BCP manuals and maybe a social media policies. And you can even extend this communication tool over to external networks, such as partners that we are working with. So probably I will share this. This is how the Zoho Connect will look like on the browser, and like what Perlin has shared, we are also compatible on mobile, so you can be connected with your colleagues and also with the management to get updates on all the announcements. And this is how it looks like for town hall. So imagine town hall like a place where your departmental heads and your CEO will get to have a gatherings. But in this case, it's a virtual gathering for them to organize, answer questions in an organized way. Next, we have this feature found in Zoho Connect, which enables manuals to be curated and updated in an organized manner too, so that everyone in a certain department will be able to find documents in an easier way. So let me go into my live demo. So probably I can share what is it like. So right now, the first app which I'm going to show is Zoho Connect. So Zoho Connect, like I shared, it is a place where senior managers, senior management get to use this to lead and for managers to engage and encourage your team. So it's a place that we break down, data silos and to enable a better communication with all the employees. So let me change it to something which I'm more familiar. So I'm going through this part. I like the dark theme. And since I'm at the dark theme, there's a display language over here. For some of my teams working in other regions, so they get to choose the correct, the language they are using or familiar with. So we are supported. We have some language support like Bahasa Indonesia. We even have some support on I think Vietnamese. I think you all can have a look at it yourself. So let's change it to the dark mode. So the first thing that I want to share is on the announcement. So there are some information that you cannot use solely on email to broadcast to every employee, because sometimes the people miss out emails, and there are multiple versions of emails and forwarding. You want to have one unified way to notify your company wide. So probably a good announcement that probably organizations now would require would be probably a work from home extension notice. So until 1st of November. So this can allow the management to replicate the pantry's notice board, so that every one of us, those with alternate working arrangements, those people who are consistently working from home, those people on maternity leave, they will not miss important announcements. And then when you do a share, you'll be able to share on your wall, or you can even share onto your own of teams. So if you belong to certain teams and you want to announce, specific instructions or any kind of departmental announcements, you can also use this method to do the sharing. And okay, share announcement. So and then this gets shared to all your employees. So the whole company will be able to get this announcement. Next, sometimes when you want to make a unified company level decision, you do not want to ask only your departmental heads. You want to involve everyone in your company. So every employee matters. So to do so, there's also a company-wide poll which you can use in Connect. For example, a good poll that is very relevant to all of us right now is options of maybe staggered lunch arrangements. Probably due to business continuity, and probably due to some change of the nature of work, we might want to have one option, or if option one for a lunch to begin having maybe a 11 to 2 and maybe a 12 to 1, and probably another option. If this company do not want to, is in a very dense area, it doesn't want to share, risking its employees to, so they may take a late lunch. So they may have a late lunch for them. So you can even have options like this. So this allows people to um, do a poll. So you can even poll on your company wall, and then next you get a poll. So and polling on the company wall allows a better transparency, and it leads to better trust. So they will not have so people will feel inclusive when they are working together with you. The next part I want to touch about is the engagement portion. During this season, for example, a sales team in working in Zilker might want to start a conversation with a feed. For example, if there's a salesperson that have closed a big deal, and congratulate the Zilker sales team. And then you can even highlight, you can even tag um, those salespeople who have done went all their way for the customer. You can even tag your colleagues, like please share about what you did. Um, you know, and you can even have sharing of best practices, such as probably repackaging, or better packaging of your e-commerce stuff if you're into e-commerce. So this is a feed for you to share in your company wall as a recognition center for those staff who have put in the extra work for you. And then all these best practices can be also shared with the rest of the other teams. The next feature I want to touch upon is what I shared is the town hall. So before I come to the town hall, I'd like to share a personal story. I know of a boss who led his team well, and he had always a very a great lunch, which he always spends clarifying and preaching about his company goals and direction to a group of managers. And after some time, this group became to expand, and we couldn't find very good tables. And after some time, we cannot even fit the largest meeting rooms in the office. So what happens to this culture of transparency and answering and questioning the management to clarify all of this career or job or sales goals. So in Zoho Connect, we have a town hall which enables every one of us to join ongoing sessions. So this would eliminate and break down the problem with the venue and the timing. So for those employees who cannot attend ongoing sessions, they will not be left out too. They will be able to visit completed sessions and also view the questions and answers that are being answered already, so that none of us gets missed out. So the next feature I want to cover is on the manuals part. This is where I stated previously that when you have important information, it should be curated and managed properly, and also to be kept updated. How many of us have maybe moved offices a few times, and then we find that our fire escape route is still the one in the old building? So in this place, we'll be able to find a dashboard, and the admins will be able to create manuals. So you be able to create manuals such as probably in this season we might have a business continuity manual. Some of us will have security or financial audit manual. So we have some manuals to document our best practices. I think for the sake of this demo, I will already have a BCP manual for Zilker, which I've already created, and we can visit this. So this is how it looks like. This is an unpublished manual, but it enables the person, the owner of this manual, to work on the draft version and able to load attachments, so that this person will be able to co-work with a few colleagues and collaborators before they publish this, which is made readily available for everyone. So inside this Connect, this communication tool, is not only good enough that the organization has a very good intranet system. How about partners? Can we extend whatever that we have to our partners? Yes, we can. So on the top left portion, right now I'm visiting the Zilker intranet. So there are some partners which Zilker works closely with. We have added them to Zilker partners. So if we click at Zilker partners, we can enter the same kind of environment, which allows us to share announcements and create posts for them, because they are also stakeholders to some of our operations. So this is how Zoho Connect aims to break down communication silos and data silos, and it's a very complementary thing that works well with Click and Zoho Mail. Okay, I think all is good. So in this session, I want to talk about work, co-work, rework, share with our team-centric file management system called Zoho Work Drive. So Zoho Work Drive enables you to set up customized organization policies, team-wise folders for file sharing, and also control the relevant access permissions. You also get activity reports and advanced analytics. It's a place where you can organize resources in one place, and it's also synced across all devices, such as your laptops, your mobile phones, and your tablets. And it also enables search through contents of files. Later, I'll be doing a demo on this so that you can see it for yourself. So this is how it looks like on the browser and the mobile. And with we also have this roles with responsibility. So when you create a team folder or when you assign roles, there are actually a few roles which come with a different responsibilities. So that right, like Berlin has said, right now our organization structure is more open and transparent. You will want most people to be able to view and edit. However, for some folder structure, you may want proper curation. You may want to appoint the managers to become the organizer, or even admins to just organize the files. And then I cover about share files while retaining control. So sometimes when you share a shared folder with important documents to an external collaborator, and what happens if you fail to set the expiry or the download permissions? You will not be able to control all the data that is in that folder. So later I'll be going through a demo on this too. And you also get a unified kind of a report for activity, and you will get some analytics so that which folders or which team is more vibrantly used. And Zoho Work Drive also comes complementary with Zoho Office Suite, which comes with a writer, sheet, and show. So I'll cover that in my later demo. So maybe I'll touch on some of the apps. So Zoho Writer is our word processor. So enables real-time editing and commenting. It also has a personal assistant called Zia, which helps improve my documents. I can also create fillable documents with this. I can automate all my paperwork using Zoho Writer. So this is how it looks like on the tablet, mobile, and browser. Next, I'll cover about our spreadsheet tool. This is a Zoho Sheet. So the same thing, we also have supports real-time editing and commenting. We can even share spreadsheets for our corporate accounting. We can also like create charts for better visualizing of data, and we can do some formatting to study data patterns. I'll show you later when I do the demo. Yeah, this is how it looks like on the browser, and this is how it looks like on the mobile. You can actually use the mobile to actually do some editing of the sheet. Next, this presentation tool, this deck is created by Zoho Show. So this enables real-time editing and commenting so that we can collaborate between me and Perlin. And it has already some professional ready-to-use templates, which I'll be showing you later. And we can even embed the presentation on websites. And if that is not enough, we can even broadcast the presentation by URL. So this is how it looks like on the mobile. And if you can see the GIF, so this is how it looks like and feels like. So I'm doing the presentation right now on Show. So I'm back at this unified dashboard again for Workplace. So it shows that my calendar, okay, I'm at the correct place. And next I'm going to go into probably a writer. So the tabs here indicate each application which is found in my deck. I also have some customized dashboard over here, which I can enable or disable. So personally, I like to have a few apps which I can find readily. So I just made Connect easier to locate. And since I'm going to work a lot on Work Drive, I'm going to start with the Work Drive. So this is how it looks like in the general screen. So it also provides previews to I think 160 different file formats. So I'm able to find some correct files. But if I'm unable to find any files, there's always a search button over here. So in the first demo, I want to find maybe a writer document, but I remember for maybe I just key. Okay, I find a writer document. So under the search, I want to find a writer document under maybe documents. Yes. So I'm going to demo Zoho Writer. So in Zoho Writer, we are able to have a review. So I'm able to add my collaborator, and I can ask him for some pointers on some of my writing. So I'm able to add comments to my collaborators, or even some of the partners which are working with me on the same document can also review my document. But before I get them to review my document, I want to do a basic check on myself. And in Zoho Writer, we have a very good checker, which is AI powered called Zia. So this is something that I've shared previously, which helps me improve my document. So it seems that I have a spelling error, and I just want to find where this spelling error is. I probably have missed out. So I would want to do a correction before I collaborate with a manager or somebody in my team, so that save some face and avoid some embarrassment. So this is a feature which I want to showcase. Next, if I need to create fillable documents, or I need to create a signature fields, I'm able to easily add using this insert button over here. So I just click this insert, and there's a more. So it actually brings me to the insert. And I want to do right now is I want to insert the fields. So I want to create maybe a fillable field. So possibly I want to have a name. So let me add the fillable field to become a single line text. So this enables me to create fillable documents. So if I wanted to send this for endorsement. If I want to send this for endorsement, I can add a insert. Sorry, I'll just do it. Okay. It's a field, and I can insert a signer fields here. So if I want to sign it myself, I'm able to click my signature. So it has some integration with Zoho Sign, a digital sign that's also by a Zoho. I can just click a button, and then I can endorse it here. So great. Next, I want to share, before I go into Sheets, maybe allow me to probably skip Sheets first. I can just do a show. So probably I can do a show. So in Zoho Show, this is a already open show, which I have ended previously for my Zoho Connect. So if I click a file, I can choose a new file, and I want to show you what are the templates readily available. So these templates are readily available for you to use. So for the sake of this presentation, I'll just pick a random one, which I find is quite good. So I can pick this. So okay, I like this theme, and then these are the different types of color themes which you can choose from. I think I'm feeling quite happy today, so I'll just click try a color scheme. Okay, and then you will be able to create slides, and you can add new slides using this button. And there are a few layouts for you to choose from. You can choose the layouts from here. So it depends on what kind of a section or what kind of a layout you prefer. You can always choose some of the layouts here. And what happens if you have created your sheet, your show. Next, you will also may want to have a person to check it. So you can even find the review button here. So you can even have another collaborator, or perhaps you have a designer who can also give you comments on some of your artwork or some of your slides. And then if you're ready, and if you want to share it, you can always publish it here. And if you want to publish to the external world, with a click of a button, and maybe you click publish. Let's give it a while. So it's going to generate a shareable embedded code. So you can get a published link, and you can get an embedded code for you to embed onto your website, like a Zoho sites or any other WordPress sites. So let's say I'm going to close this. Okay. And if you have a prospect that urgently wants to view your presentation, or you have a specific presentation to share with a person, you can also use the share broadcast feature found in Zoho Show. So you can broadcast this show directly to the person. So for instance, you can copy this broadcast URL, and then use a Zoho mail, which is a secured email, and then you can send it over to your prospect. So let me cancel this. Okay. I'll just close it from here. Sure. So since I've covered a writer and I've covered show, next I want to go back to the work drive. So I'm going to show you a demo based on a scenario. So Zilker has a subsidiary called Zilker Investments. So Zilker Investments is here. But before I go into this, I'll just share how easy is it to create a share folder. So under a team folder, you can actually create a team folder, because it is our culture that if we work together, we store together. So we have this demo folder, and I want this demo folder to be private. So let's say I'm working on Mr. Lim. So let me create this team folder, and I can add in my best teammates, and I want to promote them to organizer. And I think I also have a intern, but I want my intern to only view. So I don't want him to mess up stuff, but I also want him to have updated kind of awareness how we are working with our prospect. So we have a person, Akbar is a viewer, and I have a Trang who is a organizer. So after that, I will do an ad. Okay, I need to change this. And then for instance, I'll be able to promote him to an organizer. So next I'll go to a team folder. So after that, every document that we create using is within this team folder will be shared only to the three of us because this is a private folder. So, in our course of work, let's say in a real scenario, let me go into Zilker Investments, this subsidiary, this make-believe subsidiary. Oftenly, we'll need to find some documents that is within this work drive or within your cloud storages. So if you need to find, there's actually a search button over here. So let's say we are working on a client who wants to invest in Singapore. So let's find, and I'm trying to propose to him a few streets. So he want to buy some office. So maybe I'll just type office, and then I am able to find, if within my storage or within my permissions, this office, and then I'll know that, oh, this is the one file which I'm trying to find. So there's no point, having so much files in your storage where you cannot find them. So for the sake of also to demoing sheets, I've combined them in one. So Zoho Sheets is our spreadsheet tool, which enables us to better visualize data like what we see here. So this is actually a chart which I have created so that I'm able to understand, these are the road names and whether they have the median rent prices per square meter per month for retail and offices. And then, I just want to share with maybe interact with the attendees. Have you ever had an incident or a scenario when you're talking to a customer, the customer tells you that, they have a budget. A budget is not a problem. They just want something which is a very good investment. And after that, with a call, they have realized that, oh, okay, they don't want some of the items you propose. And then instantaneously, they want you to propose something in the next 5 minutes, or then they won't buy from you. So if you have such experiences in your life, probably you can also do a chat. Probably you can tell me, maybe you can key in a 111 so that I know that you have been have been faced with such circumstances before. So I like to have a good interaction with all my attendees. If you have faced this situation before, you're on a call with a customer and suddenly the customer changed his mind, and within the next 5 minutes, you're supposed to convince the customer that you're supposed to propose an alternate kind of investment or an alternate product. Any one of you have this issue? Okay, I'll just give you a few seconds for you all to key in whatever thing you want to say in the chat. If not, maybe let me show you how I actually been faced with this problem and how Zoho Sheet or how Zoho Zia in Zoho Sheet enable me to overcome this problem. So by the looking of this information, and you're taking a look at the number of tabs in between in this sheet, it is nearly impossible for us to manage the customer, and we are speaking in a meeting, and then suddenly we want to have proposed, we have all the numbers at our fingertips. So luckily for us, we have a feature called a Zia. So in Zia, this is an intelligent assistant found in many of our applications. So I'm able to do a quick select of the fields that I want Zia to do the analyze. So I'm able to know that, okay, Ang Mo Kio, this is a place in Singapore, which is which is a very high. I'll know that, okay, if I want to propose, these are the high median rental rates. So if this customer is going to buy these properties, and then they're going to rent, they're going to fetch a higher rates. Sometimes the customer will tell you, hey, I don't want the top 5. I want maybe top 10 or something like that. So Zia will able to give you like correlation. So you're able to find the correlation between retail and office space, and you can answer the queries of the question of the customers, instantaneously. So this actually helps, us create a very a strong impression that this Zilker investment is really a tip-top investment agency. So let me go back to this part. Okay, next. So after that, when we convince that our customer that we are able to provide them the best kind of investments, customer want us to write to him and probably give him a good secure share folder for them to put in all the sensitive details, such as a bank and the bank account books and probably some of the investment documents. So I remember I wanted to send an email, or I couldn't remember whether I sent any email pertaining to this. So luckily for us, we even have a Zia search. We works, is a unified search that can work through all of our apps here. So if I do a search across Zoho, I'm able to find using keyword. For instance, I want to find Mr. Lim. So I want to know all the conversations that about Mr. Lim with my own teammates to see whether I can find, or maybe I'll just put a customer. I want to know whether it is a customer email. Okay, it's a mail. So yes, I remembered that this will help me find emails, or it can help me find documents within our unified Zoho's ecosystem. So I remember that I wrote that I wanted something. Yes, so I am able to locate the email so that I can find the folder which I want my team to be sent to Mr. Lim. So I'll just do a inspection of the folder under this manage part. So if I click manage, I can go into settings. And in settings, this is the folder which I want Mr. Lim or my teammates to collect sensitive information. So I want to confirm the activity, see whether is it being uploaded with the latest documents to be shared with the external customer. And I can even control this external sharing. So like I shared previously, how do we actually control this? We can actually, I can change settings. Probably I'll share with you how is it done. So this, I've actually set a password so that, when I authenticate, if I send the password, if I communicated the password to Mr. Lim, only Mr. Lim and our own team, or those people with the correct permissions can access the files. So I set the password, and what's my password? Okay, I love Zoho. Okay, good. So, and I can even set an expiry. Let's say if I want to quote Mr. Lim on some investments, I'm not going to send him something that is very outdated. I want to set an expiry date. For instance, if this property is going to, the sales is going to close on the 15th of August, I wouldn't want to give him until 2021 to decide on this property. So probably my quote to him will probably end on the 19th, and I can set the expiration for this. And I choose not to allow him to do the download. Because what happens if Mr. Lim is not a real prospect customer? He may be providing and he may be downloading our sensitive information. And I can even collect user data from him. For instance, I will want his probably his phone so that I can give him a call. If not, I can just update. So after that, I'll be able to update my share link, and I'm able to share this link with the customer. If I copy the link, I can use Zoho Mail, which is found here. I can access Zoho Mail by composing a new mail using my dashboard. So I just click, and then I'm able to copy this link, and then I can contact the prospect customer before giving him the password to access this folder. So I come to the end of my presentation and my live demo for this part. So let me transfer to Perlin so that she can continue our rest of the segment.
So thank you, attendees for staying with us so far. We have one more session to cover. So let's get on with our third session, which is titled Remote Meetings and Assistance. Distance is just a number. So now that casually going into a conference room or starting a meeting or discussion is not really an option these days, a lot of us are looking towards online meeting solutions, right? So Zoho's online meeting tool is Zoho Meeting. And since meetings will have confidential information being shared, private information being shared, it is important for them to be secure. So Zoho Meeting is designed with all the security and encryption protocols in place to conduct secure meetings. So, and you will have options like having an audio meeting, video meeting, or screen sharing as well. And the presenter can choose to switch and engage with the audience. There will be chat panels available. And also for people who are not able to attend meetings, this is almost like asking your colleague for a roundup of what happened in the meeting. So similar to that, you can just watch the recorded meeting for a quick overview of what happened. So those options are available in meeting as well. So I want to go over and share how the meeting interface looks like so that you get an idea before we talk more about the specific features. So you should be able to see my screen now. So this is Zoho Meeting, and as you can see, you can either start a meeting right away or even schedule a meeting. So when you start a meeting, you will have options like audio conferencing or video conferencing. And so let me say I start an audio conference. So this is an instant meeting. If you were to schedule it, emails will go to the invitees. So right now, I also have two options to either start from my browser or download it. So some people find it more comfortable and convenient to have it on their desktop apps rather than over an online browser. So if you have, if you're skeptical about doing it over browser, you can download. For the sake of this demo, I will be starting from my browser. So this is how the meeting screen looks like. And of course, I have to give the relevant permissions, choose an audio, will be closing it now to avoid echo. So this link can be used to invite attendees to this meeting that I have started. Attendees will join in here. And since I am the presenter, I can choose to mute all attendees or unmute all whenever required. Like I said, there is a chat area to chat with each other, even if somebody is presenting. Can also choose to share screen, just like I'm doing right now, for better clarity and context. And if I think that I don't want anybody else to enter and the meeting is in progress, I can log the meeting to go over once again. So this is how a meeting is set up in Zoho Meeting. So again, let me show you a view of the screen. So once people join in, the meeting screen would look like this. Zoho Meeting is also available mobile. So even if your attendees are away from their homes or desks, they can still join in just from their mobile device or even start one from the mobile device. So if a screen sharing session is started, it looks something like this. As you can see, a bunch of developers are now sharing their programming screen to discuss certain things. So like I said, some things are really easier when discussed face-to-face along with, this is similar to you going over to somebody's place with your laptop and explaining the entire situation. So something like that you could do in Zoho Meeting as well. So when we talk about meeting, especially in the recent times, a lot of competitors have been in the limelight for not being secure enough, limelight for the wrong reasons. So I know that a lot of you will have questions about security, privacy when you're holding meetings. Not just meetings, any data that you share in your, everyday work, emails or everything. So you will have questions about privacy. So I want to reassure you that Zoho has always placed at most importance on data privacy and security. So there are file encryptions in place, encrypted both at rest and when in transit. So you don't have to worry about your data being snooped or somebody else reading the data, whoever it was not intended for. And even accessing workplace apps or other Zoho apps, you have to go through multi-factor authentication. So it's not really easy for somebody to break into your account. And we also comply to industry standards like ISO 27001 or SOC2 Type 2, and of course, European Union's biggest GDPR compliance regulation. So Zoho as an organization, not just because these are all in question right now, even otherwise, Zoho as an organization has always been transparent on its privacy policy, on its security policy, and that has always been the most important aspect of whatever we build. So in email, we have virus and spam detection in place, and everywhere that includes data, we comply to standard industry norms and have multi-level encryption in place as well. So this should remove any doubts you should have about the security of your meetings or your files. So this is about getting together as a team and discussing and getting on with your items, right? So when I'm at work, if that happens to be some problem with my laptop, I still remember how I would just pick it up and run to something we call the pit stop, where I have the system admins, the IT experts who will look at it for me. But now we are all away, and of course our devices are not foolproof. So your office devices may have certain problems that you would like to troubleshoot with your IT desk or your sysadmin, right? So for that, we have a tool called Zoho Assist for remote assistance. So Zoho Assist, though not part of the Zoho Workplace bundle, is part of the Zoho ecosystem, and you can actually make use of it if you want to run remote sessions with your clients as well, or if you just want your sysadmins to assist you with some trouble you may be having. So Zoho Assist helps in diagnosis and hardware troubleshooting, and even during the troubleshooting session, the two people will be able to chat with each other or even talk over call to explain the situation better. People will be able to annotate on the screen for better clarity. And Zoho Assist also helps in unattended access of devices or bigger devices or desktops or servers which may be in your office, and when you're away, you can still access them and perform operations on them, like running a script or deploying a patch or even starting, restarting, and all of these operations can be performed on the remote systems when configured. So let me show some of the screens of Zoho Assist, how it looks. So these are some of the sessions that are going on, and like every other app, your remote assist session can be taken up on mobile as well. So you can either start a session or schedule and invite a person to share the screen, to share their device with you. And also, when the remote session is in progress, if probably my sysadmin needs me to install something on my computer or wants me to check out a file, then there is a file transfer option as well, where the two parties can send and receive files even during the session. And if I want to explain the problem that I'm having even more clearly, then I can annotate on the screen, actually pinpoint where I'm having the issue to the person troubleshooting, which makes the job easier for him and makes it quicker for me. And even if annotations don't work, there are chat and call modules built inside Assist. And as I was talking about unattended access, you can also install agents via the distributor, set up a domain, and manage devices under that domain. And once it is set up, you also have diagnostic tools to tell you how many devices are in your network and how many are enabled, disabled, and if there are any problems with those devices, and also helps you to run scripts as well. So now I come back to the workplace dashboard where we began. So enable certain widgets or disable widgets. If I think I don't need some widgets, I can do it right here, like remove them. Or if I want to shuffle the order. So for me personally, mail is the most used app. So I would like to shuffle. So the tabs can be rearranged and enable, disable to suit your preference. So this dashboard is actually your personal space. So each user can actually design it in a way that they would like. So this is about the Zoho Workplace module, and we want apps in Zoho Workplace to work together as well, to integrate well with each other. So we have contextual integrations in place within Zoho Workplace. So let me give you a few examples. There are many integrations in place, but maybe a few examples will get you started and you can explore further. All right. So, for example, you're going to be sending over a lot of attachments in email and receiving them as well. And since your files are centrally managed in Zoho WorkDrive, you can actually pick those files from WorkDrive and attach it in mail instead of having to pick it from your system or your local storage every single time. Also, you will have incoming attachments which you may want to save automatically to WorkDrive. So with the help of Zoho Mail's filters, you will be able to write conditions. For example, I can say every email that comes in from Ku and has an attachment, has to send the attachment to a particular WorkDrive folder. So I can set up workflows like this so that I don't have to worry about losing any of the attachments or having to search through the attachments at a later date. So also, when there is an email conversation going on, if you all feel that it is better to actually have it as a chat instead of a long email conversation, then you can actually choose to click on chat about this email. So what it does is it will start a chat group, automatically adding all the people in the email. And the title of this chat will be the subject of the email itself. So in this case, the people that have been added to the chat will immediately know what this chat is going to be about. So you can skip all the pleasantries or having to explain the situation and get right to the discussion. So this way you can transition smoothly from email to chats. Also, this session, we are running it on Showtime. So when we are running Showtime sessions, we can automatically pick our files, our presentations from WorkDrive and start broadcasting a session. So these are some of the examples. And maybe I will show you one more of the integration between Zoho Mail and Writer. So you may be on the Zoho ecosystem, but the people contacting you, emailing you, may be on different systems or maybe using the standard doc or docx formats. So when you receive an email with an attachment from them, and if you prefer to actually edit it using Zoho Writer, you can choose the Edit with Zoho Writer option in the preview and start editing it right away and collaborating on it. So you can do this with Sheet as well. Edit with Zoho Sheet, and many other options are also coming in the next few days, in the next few weeks. So these are some of the examples. And as we have been letting you know from the beginning, Workplace is mobile. All of the apps are available as mobile apps as well. So be it Mail, Connect, Click, or Showtime, Show, everything is available in the mobile and you can use it on the go. I would also like to show you some of the brands in your own region in Asia Pacific that have been trusting Zoho Workplace for their communication. So these may be some well-known names. So these are people that trust us, and hopefully this will reassure you of our service and of the effectiveness of our products. So that brings us to the end of the presentation.
Thank you, Berlin. So that's on the 13th of August. So it's going to happen 2 p.m. to 4:55 p.m. So the foundation of multi-channel sales and support. So we'll be covering a few of our Zoho's applications, such as our drag and drop site builder, Zoho Sites. And we also have this live chat integration, which will be shared, called Sales IQ. Another point product that is going to be showcased would be Zoho CRM and Zoho Desk. And during this season, we also have the Zoho subscriptions, which enables you to manage complex billing cycles and oversee customer subscriptions. So overall, you're going to have 5 products which will be showcased in our next session. So on the 13th of August, do save this date and register with us. And I hope that our last event will even, wow you more. And for any kind of product inquiries, please remember to contact sales@zohocorp.com. And if you require to know anything about Zoho Workplace, do contact support@zohoworkplace.com, or even Zoho Assist at support@zohoassist.com. If you want to know about future events or such as this one, you can even write to online events-apac@zohocorp.com. So thank you once again, and thank you, team.